Hello everyone. Today's topic is very interesting. It's about money. How money flows, a journey through the lens of Florence Shinn's philosophy. In the early 20th century, amidst the roaring energy of New York's changing society, a quiet voice of metaphysical wisdom began to echo through the hearts of those seeking purpose and prosperity. Florence Scovel Shinn, an artist turned spiritual teacher, offered teachings that were deceptively simple yet profoundly transformative. Through books like The Game of Life and How to Play It, she planted the seeds of what would later become core tenets in New Thought spiritually. One of her most enduring lessons centers on the topic that captivates and often eludes human minds, the flow of money. This video will explore how money flows according to Shinn's philosophy with a lens toward understanding not only financial abundance but also the spiritual laws that govern it. The goal is not merely to explain how to manifest wealth, but to uncover the deeper energetic mechanics behind money's movement in the world and within the soul. First, money as energy, not object. Florence Shinn believes that money is not just material possession or an external goal. It is energy. This is perhaps the most vital principle to understand if one wishes to live in alignment with her teachings. Just as electricity powers homes and muscles move the body, money is a current that responds to our inner emotional and spiritual state. In her words, quote, man must prepare for the thing he has asked for when there isn't the slightest sign of it inside. End quote. She's pointing here not to naive optimism but to energetic readiness. We prepare because money does not respond to neediness or fear. It responds to faith, trust, and clarity of desire. When we see money only as paper or coin, we limit its nature. But when we understand it as spiritual energy that flows in accordance with divine law, we begin to see why fear, hoarding, and scarcity consciousness block its movement. You cannot dam the river by expect it to irrigate your land. The law of circulation, what goes out must come back. A core tenet in Shinn's philosophy is the law of circulation. She taught that giving and receiving are two sides of the same spiritual coin. Money must move. It must circulate like blood through the body, or it stagnates and withers. Quote, when man can wish without worrying, every desire will be instantly fulfilled. End quote. She wrote. But worry, fear, and control constrict the flow. If you give out of fear, afraid that it won't return, you have already negated the law. People often say, I give when I have more, but Shin would counter, you have more when you give. Generosity is not a donation, it is a declaration of faith. Giving, when done from the right spirit, is a spiritual signal to the universe, I believe in abundance. We are not just stewards of money, but channels. The freer and more joyful the channel, the greater the flow. The power of the word. speaking money into motion. Florence Scovel placed enormous power in words. She believed that what we repeatedly say, especially with emotion, become law in our lives. Your word is your wand, she declared. This principle has profound implications for the flow of money. Words of complaint, scarcity, resentment, or judgment toward wealth or wealthy people become blocks. Every time we say money is hard to come by or I never had enough, we have casting a spell over your own finances. Conversely, words of faith such as unexpected doors are opening, I am receiving my supply from unexpected sources, begin to create a new energetic openings. They don't work as magic incantations in the childish sense, but they do reshape our internal landscape. But what we internalize, we externalize. Shin advised her followers to use affirmations daily to reprogram their beliefs, not in a robotic, performative way, but in a deep, feeling state of trust. Words are not just expressions, they are energetic transactions. Speak life into your money. Divine timing and power of spiritual order. One of the more misunderstood aspects of the prosperity work is timing. People often try to force or rush outcomes, but according to Shin, divine timing is crucial. Money flows not only when we are open, but when we are spiritually ready. The game of life is the game of boomerangs. Man's thoughts, deeds, and words return to him sooner or later with astounding accuracy. Timing, then, is not random. It reflects readiness, alignment, and karmic equilibrium. If money is not arriving, Shin would not suggest hustling harder or worrying more. She would recommend inner alignment, removing the blocks of fear, resentment, or self-doubt, and then waiting in faith. She often quoted, faith without works is dead, but she clarified that works may include mental discipline, preparation, and inner work, not just physical action. Money arrives when the soul is in order, no sooner, no later. The roots of blockage, fear, envy, and unforgiveness. According to Shin, the reason many people experience lack is not because the universe is unfair, but because they harbor inner contradictions. They may desire wealth, but at the same time fear it, resent others who have it, or feel unworthy of it. These emotion blockages act like spiritual corks. Envy, for instance, suggests to the subconscious that you cannot have what someone else has. Resentment toward the wealthy subtly implies a rejection of abundance. Guilt around having more than others creates self-sabotage. One of Shin's most radical teachings is the importance of forgiveness in financial healing. Unforgiveness clogs the heart, and when the heart is blocked, nothing can flow. She wrote, quote, no man is your enemy, no man is your friend, every man is your teacher, end quote. What we project onto others, especially those with money, reflects our unresolved inner conflicts. Until we forgive, we remain spiritually indebted, and debt begets more debt. Money and divine plan. Your true work is the key. Florence Scovel did not teach that people should chase money as an end. Instead, she taught that when you are aligned with your divine plan, your soul's true calling, money naturally flows toward you. Quote, if one is willing to do a thing he's afraid to do, he does not have to. End quote, she said. This reveals an important truth. Resistance indicates a fear-based misalignment, not a path forward, but true work, the work that feels like joy, purpose, and deep service, opens spiritual gates. In this work, money becomes an instrument of support, not a goal of attainment. Florence Scovel believed that each soul comes into the world with a mission. When we align with that mission, we move into divine flow, and the resources, opportunities, and financial support naturally arrive. This doesn't mean there won't be struggle, but the struggle will not feel meaningless. It will refine rather than deplete. The more aligned we are with our soul's work, the more fluent we become in the language of abundance. Expectancy, the magnetic pull of faith. Expectation is not a passive hoping, it is the active magnetism in Shinn's teaching. She described it as rich radiating center from which all good comes. People often pray or visualize but fail to receive because they do not expect. They are skeptical, afraid of disappointment, or secretly believe that they don't deserve what they ask for. But Shin insisted that faith is expectancy. If you do not expect, you do not believe. This subtle distinction is powerful. Visualize all you want, but if your emotional core is clenched with doubt, the flow is blocked. The universe responds not to just what you say, but to what you truly expect. Expectancy is a spiritual equivalent of an open door. It tells the universe, come in, I'm ready, I believe. Without this readiness, money becomes standing outside of your door, unable to enter. Receiving gracefully, the final step in flow. Many people block the flow of money not by failure to ask, but by failure to receive. Receiving is not as simple as taking. It requires self-worth, openness, and gratitude. She noticed that many spiritual people had an easier time giving than receiving. They could bless others, support causes, and teeter, but then it came to being on receiving end, they shanked, apologized, or deflected. This too a form of pride and fear. Receiving is the ultimate act of surrender. It says, I accept the good I have asked for. It also honors the giver and completes the cycle of circulation. To receive well is to acknowledge your worth and the truth that abundance is your spiritual inheritance. Gratitude, Shin emphasized, is the soul's response to receiving. It multiplies what you receive and prepare you for more. In conclusion, becoming a clear channel for flow. To understand how money flows through the eyes of Florence Scovel is to move from the material to the metaphysical. It is not about formulas or financial advice. It is about energetic purity and spiritual law. Money flows where love, trust, and readiness reside. It resists where fear, resentment, or scarcity dwell. We are not merely earners or spenders, we are stewards of the flow. the clearer our inner world, the freer the outer flow becomes. In Shinn's word, money is not a goal, it is the result. The goal is alignment with truth, purpose, faith, and divine order. In the end, as Shin beautifully wrote, quote, "No man is success in business unless he loves his works," end quote, "and no one is rich unless their heart, mind, and spirit are flowing with the current of life." Let us then become open channels. Let us bless money as it comes and as it goes. Let us speak words of trust, act with clarity, and forgive without condition. For when the soul is clear, money is never far behind. Thank you so much, and I hope you understand the flow of money and apply to your life. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. Thank you.